Shalom. First, we're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Peace and blessings to the sons so y'all can push this truth all over. Shalom. Keep pushing. We're going to get into it with this article here. It says, white supremacist who is considered himself an apex predator crashed into a home, then shot two innocent black bystanders in hate crime before being shot dead by cops, police say. A white supremacist who considered himself an apex predator crashed into Winthrop, Massachusetts home on Saturday, then executed two innocent black bystanders in a suspected hate attack, it claimed. Nathan Allen, 28, is believed to have deliberately murdered victims David Green, 58, and Ramona Cooper, 60, because of the color of their skin. Early in the investigation, police found troubling white supremacy rhetoric and statements Allen wrote, which included the superiority of the white race about whites being apex predators and drawings of swastikas. Suffolk County District Attorney Rachel Rollins said before Saturday's fatal encounter, Allen wasn't on her office radar. He was married, employed, had a PhD, and no criminal history, Rollins said. To all external sources, he likely appeared unassuming, she said. And then yesterday afternoon, he stole a box truck, crashed into another vehicle and property, walked away from the wreckage, interacted with multiple individuals, and choosing only to shoot and kill the two black people he encountered. Green was retired Massachusetts State Trooper with 36 years on the job, and Cooper was retired Air Force Staff Sergeant. It's unclear if the two victims knew each other. The incident unfolded around 2:45 p.m. Saturday in the city of Winthrop, about 6 miles outside of Boston, when Allen crashed the stolen box truck into the building. He walked away from the crash and shot Cooper in the back multiple times and Green in the head, neck, and torso, D.A. Rollins said. When reporting officers got to the scene, a Winthrop police sergeant Cooper found Cooper and Green on the ground with gunshot wounds. Quickly identified and confronted Allen and shot him, police said. The police sergeant, like Trooper Green and Staff Sergeant Cooper, is a hero, Rollins said on Sunday. The sergeant stopped a volatile and escalating situation, saving lives and protecting the community he serves. The Winthrop police sergeant who shot the gunman was placed on administrative leave as part of standard protocol. Rollins said police found the troubling racist literature, but didn't say where they found or go into any other details about them, but said there is a growing national and global problem with extremism and white supremacy. The FBI believes the most serious domestic violent extremist threat comes from racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocated for the superiority of the white race. Winthrop Police Chief Terrence Delahanty told MassLive.com, "We have no tolerance for hate in this community." And here it is, the pictures, where Esau Edom wrecked the truck into a building. It says the investigation is ongoing. Massachusetts State Police told Fox News that Green was the quintessential professional and are trying to determine if attempted to confront the suspect. As the investigation continues and resources are extended to the victims, loved ones, and to the Winthrop community, we must say loud and clear that hate has no place in our communities or our nation, Rollins tweeted on Sunday. So they're trying to figure out, why is this Edomite, he has a PhD, he's so smart, he has no criminal history, he's an upstanding guy. Why he all of a sudden just choose to shoot two so-called black people standing on the corner watching things go down? Want to know why? Because he has a hatred, that was instilled in him. He has a ongoing hatred that could never go away. He's always gonna hate the so-called black man or woman. It's just how Esau Edom is, and ain't nothing can be done about it. That's the way he was programmed to be. He's still bitter about that birthright. And who you seeing now on the earth, these so-called white people, are Esau's children. They come from Esau. So they're the Edomites. And and they still pissed off. They still got their father's spirit, Esau, Edom in them. But we're gonna get some precepts on this deal. We're gonna go to the book of Amos. Yeah, we're gonna go to Amos 1 and 11. And it says, "Thus saith the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Edom, the so-called white man, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity." So-called white man cast off all pity on the so-called Negroes, that's here in America. Hanging them, chasing them with the sword, killing them, calling them all kind of monkeys, apes, things of that. He see destitute Jake hanging out on the corner. He laughs and rolls his window up, or he was out riding around chasing Jakes and pickup trucks, hanging them for no reason in their military uniform, coming home after World War II. And said, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. So yeah, they wondering why this so-called white man just freaked out and killed these so-called Negroes. But hey, he said he kept his wrath forever, and his wrath still burns in his children, the so-called white people. They hate you Negroes. You so-called Negroes. Hate you with a passion. So there's no amount of therapy. There's no kind of psychiatry that can rebuild this so-called white man, because he's forever gonna hate the so-called black man. That's just the way it was set up. Always have and always will be. Until it's time for the Edomites to be taken out permanently. After the kingdom of heaven is established. You can read about that in Obadiah. But that's the only way that's gonna happen, is when the Most High does it. And he have his men, to carry that out. But we're gonna go to Genesis 27 and 41. It says, "And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob." And says Esau hated Jacob. Jacob, he's talking about, his actual brother Jacob. But we are Jacob kids, the Israelites. Jacob name was turned to Israel, and we are, that's still Jacob, and we his children. We the offspring of Jacob. And the Edomites, the so-called white people, are the offspring of Esau, and they still slay their brother Jacob to this day. I ain't even got to get into it with the police reports, the killings, the beatings, like I said, the hangings and all that kind of stuff. All that went on, and all the killing that's going on now. Now you got Jake, the Israelites coming across the border. They slaying them, sacrificing the children to Molech, putting them in snuff films. So they doing all that still to this day. So ain't nothing changed with the so-called white man. It ain't ever gonna change until Obadiah comes into play. The book of Obadiah. I just wanted to get into this article about the Edomites. They wonder why this so-called white man, why he freaked out. It's just in him to freak out. When he see a so-called black man or woman standing on the corner, and he just instinctively goes to kill them first. That's how he was programmed. But, I would just like to say, hey, I hope this video was edifying. To the Son, see, I can keep pushing. Shalom.